Dominique Wilkins. And Isaiah again from long range.
No question they're going after the scoring record. 202, 201 2 years ago. 403 combined points.
Well, some nifty pass work with Michael Jordan off the mark. Dominique blew the stuff. Charles Smith did not even pretend to play defense.
I didn't see that too often there, man.
So the white team up 3-2. Reggie Miller with the alley-oop. Did not work. And Magic gives it up. There's Smith from three-point range.
Marv, I think they're trying so hard. The crowd is excited. They're excited. They're trying to make spectacular plays early in the game. But right now, they're not warmed up. They're not into it enough yet.
Well, a replay that I know that Dominique will appreciate. A close-up of the missed stuff. Smith. Charles not shy about pumping them up here in the early going. Nice pass for Wilkins. Isaiah and Dominique combining.
It seems so simple with two great players like Isaiah Thomas and Dominique. The timing on that is incredible.
Dominique Wilkins, five-time All-Star, the NBA scoring champion. Back in '86, he averaged 30 points per game. Actually, we saw a rejection. The first sign of some defense.
Team defense, but another breakaway jam at the other end.
No, Charles Smith able to hit on the reverse.
It's nice of Isaiah to slow it down and give the shot clock an opportunity to run a little bit.
Williams trying to throw it out. Magic off the steal. Here's Jordan as Aguirre just stepped away.
Come on, come back on the court and get out of the stands, please. We need you.
So Magic's red team on top by the score of 6-5. Reggie Miller, the three-point specialist. So Reggie Miller, who shot 41% from downtown during the regular season, only Mark Price of Cleveland was better, gives his club an 8-6 lead. Jordan way off here at the start. Rambis with the tip.
Not quite sure Michael Jordan had an opportunity to warm up properly. He needs to get off the links a little sooner, Mark.
Yes, he had a golf date that went a bit later than he expected, played late into the afternoon, so showed up here at the Forum during the course of the pregame introductions, and a little bit rusty as he gets going here in the first quarter. Michael did get a standing ovation when he ran out of the court while the other players were being introduced. And a friendly rim for Jordan. Magic's red team on top 10-8. Dominique on the spin.
Dominique, such a great athlete, has great body control, able to get in the air, do a 360, and still convert at the end.
Bad pass, and Reggie Miller puts it away, and the white team takes a 12-10 lead.
Not only are they going after the scoring record, but they're going after the turnover record at the same time.
That's making a steady move in that direction. The score tied at 12. Aguirre for Thomas. Three-point attempt. Yes. And Jack Nicholson, in low-key fashion, enjoyed Isaiah's three-pointer.
Keep in mind, Isaiah hit 9 out of his first 14 three-point attempts in the championship series against Portland. They added a new weapon in the championship series, Detroit.
The bounce pass for Wilkins. Thomas and Wilkins combining.
Even Dominique like that one. He was way above the rim.
From three-point range. Yes! Magic Johnson, one of the better clutch three-point shooters in the NBA. 17-15. Magic's team down by 2. And Isaiah uncontested.
It almost looks like a replay of the championship series. Isaiah used that same move against Portland.
Charles Smith enjoying the first quarter. Aguirre from deep.
Post moves are at a minimum right now.
Very little setup. Very little defense, although Isaiah picked it off. Fires off the glass. Did not work.
Part of the routine between Dominique and Isaiah.
Rambis wide open. Jordan backs it up. Nice defensive play. Smith.
This is be our best weapon right now, the slam dunk after the initial miss, Mark.
Particularly the uncontested slam. Isaiah shooting from all angles here in the first quarter. Magic Johnson bringing his team to the front court. Nice lead for Rambis.
The white team needs some help in their transition defense.
Jordan with the steal. Yes, it counts. The bucket by Kersey. He will go to the line. A timeout has been taken. So Kersey to the line when we come back. Here's the play of the first quarter. The bounce pass from Isaiah to Dominique.
People keep asking me how it felt to be
New York Knicks, Kevin Johnson of the Phoenix Suns, Brent Tucker of the Knicks, Rolando Blackman of the Dallas Mavericks checking in. Aguirre committing the foul to put Jerome Kersey at the line. First foul of the game.
Not quite sure about these rosters. Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan go out, and Kevin Johnson and Rolando Blackman come in the game. Incredible.
Well, Magic pointed out as general manager of not only the team, but this entire game, he was able to pick his players, and Kersey able to connect for a 25-19 lead for the home team. Danny Manning, who just checked in. Wayman Tisdale off the rebound to cut it to a 4-point lead.
You know, Jerome Kersey tries to hurt the rim, Mark, when he dunks the basketball.
Nice look-away pass from Kersey to Kevin Johnson. Now Mark Jackson with the setup. Here's Rich Chapman of Charlotte. Manning missing the tip. Manning on the steal for Tisdale. Rolando Blackman and Sean Kemp of Seattle thought he was pushed.
Sean Kemp, the youngest player in the NBA last year at 20 years of age. Terrific physical specimen. Extremely talented.
Tisdale cuts it to 27-25. Kersey sweeping in.
There he is, Jerome Kersey, the small forward who averaged 16 points a game this past season for Portland and helped lead them to the NBA Finals. He just keeps getting better and better each year, Mark.
Yeah, he has blossomed to become a big-time star through 6 years of hard work. Unusual shot that was an air ball. Standing one-hander by Tisdale. Johnson for Blackman. 31-25. Magic Johnson's team on top. Mark Jackson able to penetrate.
Mark Jackson, the newlywed.
Yes, he was married last weekend in New York. Patrick Ewing also got married last week in New York. And Kemp lost it. Now Charles Oakley for Jerome Kersey. Oakley was about to report in earlier, but Kersey went to the foul line. Spud Webb with the alley-oop for Rich Chapman. And a 2-point lead for the red team. Nice back door, and Blackman able to put it away.
I like to see a little ball moving like that. I think the crowd appreciates it, and you get good shots off as well.
The crowd here looking for slam dunks.
Action.
Looking for Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson to show off their exploits.
As we talked to Danny Manning before the game, he mentioned that he hopes this season he can remove that knee brace, Mark, and go with either none at all or a much smaller version.
Sean Kemp off the stuff. Danny Manning made a remarkable comeback last season, making it back from a serious knee injury that kept him out for a year. And again, Blackman for an 8-point lead for the red team. Chapman off the save. No. And Spud instead takes it inside.
What a great season Spud Webb had for the Atlanta Hawks last year. He wound up starting almost 35 games for him and had his best year in the NBA.
Spud Webb, it should be pointed out, from three-point range. What a pass from Webb to Jackson. Spud last season 1 for 19 from downtown, so he passed up that three-pointer, which was from area code range. And it is Kemp again. He has 6 points. Just under 3 minutes to go, first quarter. Chapman makes it a 41-35 game. And I think we're on a pace to set a new mark for the Magic Johnson Midsummer Night's All-Star game.
Well, I think conditioning may be a factor. We have a couple players that are chugging right now going up and down the floor.
Timeout is taken. So a rest time upcoming with 2.5 to go. And this first quarter, and it's a 4-point lead for the team of Magic Johnson. Johnson coughed it up. Here's Spud Webb for Raymond touchdown. And it's a 2-point lead for the Reds.
Kevin Johnson's mom, Georgia, here in the audience this evening. A wonderful woman.
Is putting on a show. He now has 8 points. Manning able to save it. Just under 2 minutes to go in this first quarter. Here's Tucker with a 3-pointer. Chapman lost it. And it's a 4-on-2. Johnson with the pass. Kemp on the follow.
Sean Kemp has spent the entire summer out at the LA Pro League working on his game, working with the coaching staff. They feel this young man is going to be an outstanding player in the years coming.
One of the few big men invited to this game. Kemp goes 6 for 10. Chapman with 6 points as we come up on 1 minute left in this opening quarter. But Johnson showing us the outside touch.
Kevin Johnson likes the right side of the floor. Cotton Fitzsimmons the entire season playing pick and roll from that right to left situation.
Spud Webb and Danny Manning getting together for a 47-43 lead. Red team on top. Nice pass. And Blackman converts from Johnson.
It's interesting how many players try to throw that lob but just are not as successful. And Spud Webb happens to be one of the best in the league at throwing that pass.
It's a rare lull in the action. What's happening here? 24-second clock actually went down to 12. Mark Jackson with 30 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Oh, Kemp with the look away for Blackman.
I think Spud Webb heard you talking about his three-point game. Was going to show you he could make one from out there, Mark.
Jackson going against his teammate Tucker. There's Chapman. And Oakley, who likes to fire on the outlet, gets it to Kemp. Final seconds of the quarter. 53-45 the score. Manning checking the clock, not able to get it off in time. So after one, Magic Johnson's red team, the home club, leading the white team 53 for uniform. Herb Williams. He gave it up to Smith. Well, Charles Smith of the LA Clippers, 2-year pro out of University of Pittsburgh, has extended to a 10-point bulge and a timeout taken by the white team. Now let's go to Ahmad.
This is the way I think basketball should be played. No defense and just score as many points as you can.
I agree, because lots of times I watch the game and I see people exerting themselves doing defensive things, and I don't understand it.
But because we're looking for 200 points this evening. Who's looking for 200? I say, we was looking. Well, what's the score? I just walked in here.
Look how serious Arsenio was taking it.
Arsenio was really serious.
He's a coach.
But you know, Sinbad tried to take Michael Jordan's car and redirect it so he wouldn't get here on time.
Did he really?
Yeah, it didn't work.
What, he jump here from the parking lot?
All right, Ed.
All right, man.
Well, Ahmad taking shots at Sinbad. We're early second quarter.
Listen to my nephew. He's going to be a
This one is for real, though, Mark.
Yes. Isaiah off pressure. Little defense exerted, and Jordan on the steal is fouled by Isaiah Thomas, who hears it from the crowd.
That's that Detroit Piston mentality. Don't give him any easy scores.
And Isaiah challenging Arsenio Hall. Look out. I didn't realize WrestleMania had entered the world of basketball.
I'm waiting for the Hulk to arrive.
I don't think the Detroit Pistons management will appreciate the takedown of Isaiah.
I like the strategy coming out of the timeout, though. They went to a little double team, trap Isaiah, force a turnover.
Technical foul has been called on Arsenio Hall. And Isaiah throws the brick. Now what is this? Arsenio back behind the basket for some taunting. And this brick intended for Arsenio. Michael Jordan, who was fouled by Isaiah Thomas, will shoot a pair.
Michael Jordan, we know he's a great basketball player. When he goes out on the golf course, and we know he's an outstanding golfer, and he puts a baseball uniform on, he hits 2 home runs in batting practice.
Michael taking part in batting practice in Chicago a couple of weeks ago. Again, the pressure on Isaiah. Red team going to its trapping defense. Dominic Wilkins. It's an 8-point lead for the red team. Jordan. So Michael Jordan with 9 points. 60-50. Favor of the home team, the red. Aguirre from deep. Jordan has Charles Smith with him. Stutter step did not work. And Tommy Nunez says stay right here.
It's interesting. Mark Aguirre and Dominique Wilkins always seem to be the first 2 guys at the other end of the floor. Great scorer's mentality.
Jordan. Reggie Miller. 3-pointer for Reggie Miller, who now has 8 points. Rambis. So Kurt Rambis showing the outside cut. Kurt, a huge favorite here. Key member of 4 Laker championship squads. Miller again from downtown. Isaiah try to find Wilkins. 62-55 for the red team. Smith, Rambis, and Kersey up front. Aguirre shooting. Aguirre with his second field goal. He has 4.
Mark Aguirre's done a great job of adjusting his game. Let's keep in mind that a couple years back, he averaged 29 points a game as a starting small forward. Now he comes off the bench against his opponents, substituting for Dennis Rodman, and they've won 2 world championships.
Very nice reverse by Dominic Wilkins. Isaiah off the steal. Isaiah Thomas. That's 2-point range. He has 11. Getting back to Mark Aguirre, he certainly did play a major role in Detroit's drive to the NBA title. He averaged 14 a game, coming off the bench for the most part. Smith, yes, and it counts. He was hacked by Williams. Charles Smith of the LA Clippers will go to the line.
We talk about an up-and-coming franchise. Los Angeles Clippers with a terrific young front line. Benoit Benjamin, Charles Smith, Danny Manning. And if they can overcome the injury problem that they've had the last couple of years, Mark, these people are going to jump quickly in the standings.
One of the keys, the return of Ron Harper sitting on the bench as one of the 57 assistant coaches that are taking part in this ball game.
Ron told us he expects to be back playing in January. That's the schedule. He's on schedule. He said the leg feels real good, but he will not be back before that time.
Here's Thomas. That's a three-point attempt. McGuire gives it up. Dominique Wilkins has cut it to a one-point lead. Magic's club on top. Michael Jordan.
All I know is during the regular season, he doesn't miss those shots, Marv. They seem to always go down against your team.
McGuire. So the white team has come from 10 back, and they now lead Magic's red team by 1 with 5 minutes gone by in the second quarter. Rambis. And Percy was right there. He has 10 points. Miller backs to three-point territory. Looks like old ABA style when they would set up the three-pointer on the back dribble. And a timeout taken by the white team. We'll be right back.
Are we late?
We're fine. The flight doesn't leave until 10.
This traffic.
Yes.
Did you lock the back door?
Locked.
What about...
You want me to lie? Tell the truth. Tell me the truth. See, this is what happened. See, we was running, and then he tripped me. But when did this start? This sounds like some pre-game activity. No, really what it is. See, he's a diehard Laker fan, and I don't like the Lakers at all. And he rooted for the Lakers all season long, and we watch a show in Detroit. So when the Lakers get eliminated, he say he for the Phoenix Suns. Now, we've been sending them Piston T-shirts, bad boy hats, everything all season long. And then when the Lakers get eliminated, naturally, we say, oh, you for Detroit. He said, no, he for the Phoenix Suns. Then he jumped on me. But the moral of that whole story is who's wearing the ring? Detroit. Thank you very much. Back to you, Mike.
You got it. My good buddy Isaiah over there, we go back a long ways. 5-star basketball camp. So we had Mark Aguirre and Isaiah the same week at that camp.
Substitutions for the white team: Danny Manning, Mark Jackson, Rex Chapman, Spud Webb, and Wayman Tisdale check back in. 6:15 remaining in this first half from the Forum in Inglewood. Marv Albert along with Mike Fratello. Tisdale got clobbered, and we'll go to the line.
Let's talk about the draft that team just had, Sacramento. Wind up with 3 outstanding first-round picks. Come in and add to a roster where they already made some moves. Dick Motta, a forward-oriented coach, comes up with a Wayman Tisdale and Antoine Clark, guys who can really score. And now goes after the backcourt. 2 outstanding young players coming in. This team has done a great job over the past year.
Wayman Tisdale led the Sacramento Kings in scoring, averaging 22 points a game. That's his NBA high. 12 points tonight. High man Dominique Wilkins with 14. This is Dominique's type of ball game. And Chapman starts back. And pumps. Foul called on Manning. Now the wheels turning. Arsenio making some strategic moves. Smith. Charles Smith, who has the fluid moves to the bucket. That time uncontested. Spud Webb to Rex Chapman. Mark Jackson with the bucket. 1-point lead for the white team. Jordan. Well, Michael now has 11. Smith leading Magic's team with 14. Rex Chapman.
Well, Rex is a young man who I'd really like to see come back and have a real good year next season. Had a tough year with injuries last year. Received some criticism, but I think his talent gives him a real good chance of maturing and developing into an outstanding NBA player.
22nd timeout called. Kurt Rambis had his glasses knocked off. Well, Rex Chapman playing with the Charlotte Hornets. You mentioned the criticism, and that has to do with shot selection. What is Jack checking out here now?
Jack was one of my biggest helpers when we used to come here to play the Lakers, and my good buddy Pat Riley, Jack would tell me who to put in at what time of the game, what plays to call, what defenses to call.
I'm sure he was very helpful, yes. You would receive advice such as take Dominique out. There's Rex Chapman. Played only 2 years at Kentucky, came out early, led the Hornets in scoring last season, averaging better than 17 per game. But pumping from all angles at all times.
He needs to add a little bit more to his game, to his offensive repertoire. And then defensively, he needs to start digging in.
Chapman. And tipped home by Tisdale. 73-70. The red team of Magic Johnson with the ball trailing by 3. Jordan putting the move on and held by Chapman. So we're hearing the whistles from time to time here in the second quarter following that quiet opening quarter.
Michael Jordan with a tremendous first step, and only Michael Jordan can take off on one side of the lane and wind up on the other side without putting the ball on the floor. He covers so much ground, so much area when he takes off.
What do you try to do against Jordan? What is your strategy?
The key with Michael is having the team understand that going into the game, if we're going to bring him to a certain area on the floor, who we're going to double team with, when we're going to double team, you basically try to surround him.
Chapman on the nice pass from Webb.
Once again, Spud Webb with the great lob pass. But going back to Michael Jordan, Mark, he's the kind of guy who you need to try to use the team defense. Individually, you're not going to stop Michael Jordan. He's just too good an offensive player. But if you can surround him, try to keep him on the perimeter, away from the basket.
Webb putting the move on Rambis. And Kersey a blur, but he blew the layup. Rambis right there. Game is tied at 75 with 3:40 to go, first half. Casual pass from Jackson to Chapman. Tisdale. Tisdale again. Yes, it counts. And he'll go to the line.
Wayman Tisdale, by the way, Mark, will be running his own game come September to help the big brothers and sisters out in Sacramento. A number of these players in the game tonight have their own games, all an offshoot of Magic's game.
Wayman having a 16-point first half. He was acquired. And the deal for LaSalle Thompson. Wayman going to Sacramento. Charles Smith has tied the game at 77. Manning off some nifty passing. And the white team will take over. Wholesale substitution by Magic Johnson. Orlando Blackman. Kent Tucker will be in the backcourt. Charles Oakley also checking in with Sean Kemp. Kevin Johnson stepping back on the court. Well, uncontested by Wayman Tisdale.
I'd like to see a little matchup. Spud Webb against Kevin Johnson in a race with a basketball in their hands.
Who do you like?
I might take Spud. Dribbling the ball from end line to end line.
Manning from Jackson. Nice play. 81-77 for the visiting white team. Oakley shooting. Well, Charles Oakley of the New York Knicks Knicks, a man who made it back following that broken hand injury and then sparked the Knicks in the playoffs against Boston. Timeout taken, 2:25 remaining in this first half.
This is the new Volkswagen Passat GL wagon. A car we're so sure will fit.
Will toss in. Manning from three-point range. So at halftime, the white team of Isaiah Thomas with an 89-87 lead over the red team of Magic Johnson. And Michael Jordan missing on his first field goal attempt of the second half. 89-87. The white team of Isaiah Thomas on top.
I think what we'll actually see is a little more execution here, some screening, a little bit better defense, and a little bit better ball movement.
Yes, the first half, strictly run and gun, sloppy schoolyard play, which you expect in an exhibition game, but I want to see a little bit more aggression, some defensive tendencies.
The thing that we'll also see here is as the play gets better, we'll see the officials get more involved in the game. They'll see that the players are taking it a little bit more seriously. They'll start making more calls here in the second half.
Foul by Magic, sending Mark McGuire to the line. The white team of Isaiah Thomas starting this second half with Isaiah and Reggie Miller in the backcourt. Mark McGuire, Herb Williams, Dominique Wilkins up front. Three-point lead for Isaiah's club. It is Kurt Rambis, Charles Smith, and Jerome Kersey up front. Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson at the guard. Michael Jordan with 16 points. High man of the game, Wayman Tisdale. He has 22. Isaiah off the fake. It's a 3-on-2. Here's Jordan.
Already you can see the basketball is much better here in the second half, Mark. The players are concentrating harder. They're running. They're getting out. And we're seeing better shot selection.
Mark McGuire. And Jordan with the verbal message and the bucket.
See, that's what happens when you let Michael Jordan get warmed up like he did the second half. It's a different Michael Jordan.
Charles Smith unloads to Jerome Kersey. Kersey giving Magic's team a 95-93 lead. Isaiah for Reggie Miller. Should point out traveling is legal here.
Oh, you're allowed to do that? Why? Why take that away?
Magic from three-point land. 3-on-2. The human highlight film. Dominique Wilkins has given his club a 97-95 lead. Michael Jordan right back.
Michael Jordan, Mark, who goes to the basket and throws it down as well as anyone in this game, is what the crowd is here to see tonight. He'll get them going here in the second half.
Michael showing up late following a golf date elsewhere in the Los Angeles area, received a standing ovation as he made his way out of the court during the warm-ups. Reggie Miller for a 99-95 lead. The white team of Isaiah Thomas with the advantage. They have come back from a 10-point deficit. They've led most of the way. Here's Kersey to cut it to a 2-point advantage.
You know, most people associate scoring in Michael Jordan. But let's keep in mind, this gentleman was named the outstanding defensive player in the league, led the league in steals this past year, took his team to the NBA Eastern Conference Finals. He's done it all.
He averaged close to 3 steals per game. Miller. Reggie Miller from 2-point range. Miller on a 3-on-2. And a friendly rim for Isaiah. Isaiah Thomas.
It's interesting that Indiana has received all kinds of phone calls inquiring about the possibility of trading Reggie Miller, but Dick Versace says there's no way.
Michael Jordan getting into it. He now has 22 points. Isaiah from three-point range. Reggie Miller has blossomed. Magic Johnson cutting it to a 2-point lead. Reggie Miller averaged close to 25 points per game this past season, among the leaders in scoring in the NBA. Aguirre now has 12. And here's Jordan. Got the idea Michael was warming up during the first half. Herb Williams surprised that the ball ended up in his hands. And Isaiah's team will maintain possession. 5 minutes gone by, third quarter. And his white squad.
He played 3 positions so far in the NBA. Besides the 2-guard scoring guard, he's been a small forward at times and then moved over 2 seasons ago to play a lot of point guard position.
Here's Miller, that's a 3-point attempt. Charles Smith going glass. Rebound Percy.
Herb Williams getting a piece of that. He led Dallas with 106 block shots last year. That's why Richie Adubato got him for defense.
Isaiah Thomas with 15, and his club leads 107-103. Magic from three-point range. Aguirre. Oh, beautiful finger roll move by Mark Aguirre. Magic's team down by 6. Wilkins with the 3-on-1. So, 8-point lead for the white team of Isaiah Thomas. Michael Jordan cuts it to 6.
Michael's giving it to us every way. Taking off from the foul line, one-handed, 2 hands behind his head. He does them all for us here in the show.
And Jordan with 12 of his 26 points here in the third quarter. That's a 3-pointer for Isaiah Thomas.
We talked to Isaiah before the game. I asked him, what have you been doing with basketball this summer? He said, shooting the basketball, Mike. He said, it's the area that I need to improve the most.
Rambis. Always interesting to hear a guy like Isaiah Thomas, a 9-time All-Star. Dominic Wilkins buries one. A guy like Thomas saying, I still have to improve in some phase of the game.
Well, as we know, the pro player can come back and just add one new thing to his game each season. It's just going to make him that much better of a player. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was adding the lefty hook after 12, 13 years in the NBA.
Charles Smith has 18 points. Traveling violation. There is traveling being called in this contest.
Dominique is looking at Hugh Holland saying, are you serious right now?
Arsenio Hall certainly agreed with that call. Just under 5 minutes to go. In the third, 116-107. Magic Johnson's team is trailing. Percy on the fadeaway. Wholesale substitutions by Isaiah Thomas's club. Rex Chapman of the Charlotte Hornets. The Mark Jackson of the New York Knicks. Shot deflected. Smith from Jordan.
The red team is out running. They're warmed up right now. The new white group hasn't had a chance yet to get themselves in action here.
Aguirre off the steal. Nice show the ball move by Mark Aguirre. Jordan trying to save that pass that went astray.
Charles Smith threw the lob behind Michael Jordan instead of in front of him.
Chapman backs to three-point land. Rambis on the rebound.
This young man was always considered an outstanding shooter coming out of college, yet he consistently shoots in the low 40 percentile bracket. I question how good a shooter he really is, Mark.
You think he's a shooter or a scorer? Jordan was held.
Probably better scorer than shooter.
And here's a look at Chapman as he tries to defend against Michael Jordan.
Well, Chicago did so much of this during the stretch run of the season, posting up Michael Jordan against the two guards, and there aren't very many two guards that can play him. He's bigger, he jumps over him, and he's stronger than a lot of the guards.
Jordan hitting both free throws. He has 28. 7-point lead for the team with the ball. Kersey right by Chapman. 16 for Kersey of the runner-up Portland Trailblazers. Look out. Well, we've seen a host of stuffs. Alley-oop attempt going wide. And at the end of this game, there is a slam dunk contest, which usually brings fans out of their seats and usually is emceed by Magic Johnson. 18 points for Aguirre. Foul called on Rambis.
Mark Aguirre is such a strong player and has such great concentration on the rim that he can make a shot like that when basically, Mark, he's being thrown out of bounds.
Jordan putting the move on Chapman.
Oh, Michael Jordan all the way from the sideline right past Rex Chapman.
And Michael enjoyed that one. Here's Chapman. So Rex Chapman with 14 points. Magic's team is down now by 8. Three-point attempt. Magic Johnson with 8 points. 123-118. Isaiah Thomas's white team on top.
Nice pass by Danny Manning. He has great eyes, sees the floor. He's an outstanding skill player. Put it on the floor, passed the basketball, and then shot over 53% last season.
Here's Magic again with the three-pointer.
I think two people have taken Magic's pep talk to heart. One Magic and the other being Michael Jordan.
And here comes Magic again from 3. Put home by Smith to cut it to a 2-point lead with 1:45 remaining third quarter. Aguirre. Magic gets it down to Jordan. From Jordan. So the game is tied at 125.
Great acquisition during the season by Phoenix. They were struggling early in the year, almost 10 games below 500. They pick up Kurt Rambis, a winner. 4 championship rings. They turn it around.
Timeout taken with a minute 20 to go in the third, and the game is tied at 125.
Confused by that booty move, but I'm looking forward to seeing it, to be honest.
Alley-oop attempt misfiring, but Kersey is there. Sinbad, it should be pointed out. Michael Jordan giving his club a 2-point lead. Sinbad did attend to the University of Denver on a basketball scholarship. Chapman from 3, yes.
You know, even Michael Jordan liked that last move. He went down the court, kind of stopped himself at 5.
45 seconds to go, third quarter. Jordan again. 34 for Jordan. He is the high-point man.
What a headache is, Mark, knowing that you have to guard him the next night.
Jackson. 130-129. Isaiah Thomas's team on top. And Charles Smith lost it. White team trying to fast break.
Bit of the international flavor on the sideline, getting it in quickly.
Time has run out in the third quarter. It is a 1-point lead for Isaiah Thomas of Michael Jordan. Late wake-up call for Michael, but 20 of his 34 points scored in the third.
I have a feeling Magic may push back the starting time next year just a little bit to give Michael a chance to get back from the greens and warm up properly.
And Michael Jordan will receive a well-deserved rest as this fourth quarter gets underway. And Magic's team making changes. Charles Oakley has stepped down. He is up front with Sean Kemp. And they go three-guard offense. Trent Tucker, Orlando Blackman, Kevin Johnson, Rex Chapman, and Mark Jackson. Out of the backcourt for Isaiah Thomas's club. Andy Manning up front with Dominique Wilkins and Wayman Tisdale.
I think this is the booty move we heard about.
Well, Tisdale able to convert on the yes booty move.
I see the strategy here now.
Here's Tucker with the quick release. See what happens when you try to pass too much of this time of game?
Overpassing, we've told them about that. There has to be some concern, Mark, for players like Kevin Johnson, who had injuries during the course of the regular season last year, and then they come out and play in this game. Kevin with the hamstring. I know Cotton Fitzsimmons is slightly concerned.
Well, how do you feel about players taking part in exhibition games? You want your guys to get back into shape. Of course, you don't want to see them get hurt, but you do need some basketball to get back into it.
I think it's a tough call. This situation is such where they want to help out. It's for a great cause. Let's go back to when they were in high school. You played all summer long. You go to college, you play all summer long. Now, obviously, they're playing for a little bit different stakes, but this is how they stay sharp by playing the game of basketball.
Kemp with the foul to put Tisdale at the line. It is a 2-point lead for the white team of Isaiah Thomas. Blackman shooting. Nice pass, and Tucker has tied the game at 133. Tisdale getting the call. And again, he'll go to the foul line. Kemp called for the foul. Wayman Tisdale among the high scorers with 27 points. He is the Big Eight's all-time leading scorer out of Oklahoma, 5 years in the NBA.
We have two former Indiana Pacers here who played together many games on the front line, and both were traded away for various reasons. Wayman Tisdale and Herb Williams.
Kemp off the fake, gets it back out. Oakley back to Kemp. 135, 134. So the team of Magic Johnson recapturing the lead. Dominique with the post up on Tucker.
Dominique is so good in the lane area. He's so quick, such an explosive jumper.
Chapman off the steal. It is a 5-on-1 broken up by Kemp. 3-on-1 the other way, and Kevin Johnson not able to hit on the drive. Kicked out by Chapman.
Kevin Johnson also an outstanding baseball prospect if he preferred to switch sports, as so many athletes are doing, playing two sports. He probably could play a little bit of baseball.
Yes, he did play minor league baseball briefly. Blackman, 137-134. Magic's team on top.
How about that guard core next year for the Dallas Mavericks? Orlando Blackman, Harper, and then Fat Lever. 3 great guards.
Here's Tisdale. Of course, with Dallas, the major question is always the status of Roy Tarpley. Andy Manning cuts it to a 1-point lead.
If Roy Tarpley has a good year next year and things go well, that team is definitely a contender in the Western Conference. They made the bold move. They picked up Fat Lever. They feel that 3-guard rotation is going to be the key, similar to what the Detroit Pistons have done the last 2 seasons.
3 minutes gone by in the fourth quarter. The Midsummer Night's Magic 5th annual All-Star game from the Forum at Inglewood. Tisdale has given Isaiah's team a 1-point lead. 30 points for Wayman Tisdale. Tucker from 3. That is his specialty. Brett Tucker has given Magic Johnson's team a lead. 140-138. Tisdale with a 3-point attempt. Not his specialty.
But he really wanted that one. Yeah, you can see it in his eyes.
Here's Kemp. Jackson putting the move on his teammate Oakley and then lost it. At times I waited for these guys to go into a game of force in the middle of the action.
Ball the next shot out.
Oh, Kemp. That's one out of the repertoire. Dominique Wilkins. Sean Kemp with a gorgeous stuff. And Magic's red team up by 2. Manning from downtown.
Dominique hustling around the floor. Spry youngster.
And completes it. Game is tied at 142. Dominique Wilkins averaged just under 27 points this past season for Atlanta. 5th in the NBA, an NBA scoring champion back in '86.
You know, in the offseason, we've heard almost every Hawks name available for a potential trade, but Dominique Wilkins is the cornerstone of that franchise.
Tucker off the steal. And it's Kemp. 144-142. Dominique Wilkins up front with Herb Williams and Mark Aguirre. Michael Jordan has checked back in, had that red-hot third quarter. Jordan leading Oakley. And here's Magic. He's been hot from three-point range. Jordan and tipped home by Kersey. I don't think that's what Michael Jordan had in mind, though.
You talk about creating opportunities. He certainly can create.
Magic's team up now by 8. Aguirre looking for the move on Oakland. And he's fouled. Mark Aguirre enjoyed that back-end move on Charles Oakley.
I think that's that booty move.
Yeah.
Once again, booty move.
Mark Aguirre will shoot 2. Acquired from Dallas by Detroit, said that the Lakers overinflate their game balls because Magic Johnson likes the high dribble. The regulation is 7.5 to 8.5 pounds. The Chicago Bulls claim that in checking the basketballs they discovered the Lakers pump it up to some 15 to 17 pounds. Thomas on the foul. Do you buy that?
There's a very easy solution for that. You just put in your 6'9.5" point guard and let him dribble the ball high like Magic does. That's all. Doesn't everyone have a 6'9", 6'10" point guard?
Well, you know, the Knicks of the early 70s won't admit to it, but they deflated the ball because they were a shorter team. They didn't want long rebounds. The deflated ball also helped the offense because it was easier to pass, and they were an excellent passing team.
All kinds of tricks, Mark. Turn the temperature gauge up in the locker room, as we know many people claim the Celtics used to do. Yes, particularly the visiting team locker room.
You think they did it?
I know they did.
6-point lead for the team in possession. Jordan from 3. Smith on the rebound. Coming up on 4 minutes remaining in the game. Aguirre with the 3-point bomb. And Isaiah Thomas cuts it to a 4-point deficit. Miller on the steal from 3-point land. Reggie Miller has cut the lead to 1. 3-pointer by Magic. Isaiah's club has a 1-point lead.
As we see our two coaches there, strategy obviously will come into play here in the stretch.
Wilkins. And it will be red ball.
Talking about those little gimmicks that people use at the various arenas. Kevin Lockery, when he used to coach, would reset the clock when his team was ready to come out of the locker room. So your team basically warmed up about 30 minutes before the game.
Nice move by Kevin. Charles Smith with a three-pointer. And it's a 2-point edge for the team of Magic Johnson. Miller from 3. Yes. So it is a 3-point duel here in the final moments. 156-155. Isaiah's team on top with 2:40 remaining in the game. Smith with a three-pointer. Charles Smith, who is not noted for the long-range bombing, able to hit again. Isaiah Thomas. And Isaiah on the follow. Game is tied at 158.
Detroit has two guards who seem to always sneak in around the offensive boards for key baskets. Vinnie Johnson, Isaiah Thomas.
Magic from 3. That hot streak in the third quarter, but it's cooled down. Another three-point attempt. And Jordan has given Magic's team a 2-point lead.
Charles Smith said, no, Marv. That was a pass to my teammate.
Jordan with 36. He's the high man. Miller from 3. Is this the All-Star Game 3-point classic that we're watching here?
It's a shootout. No competition here right now.
Aguirre. Game tied at 160. Minute and a half remaining. Jordan. Tommy Nunez with the call. Aguirre called for the foul. And a timeout call.
Get a score.
We are down to 1 minute remaining in regulation. And Jordan gives it up to Smith. Things getting a little rough. Will they go to the setup offense again?
They will go to their pick and roll, two-man game, and try to get Isaiah in the lane or Reggie Miller the jump shot.
Smith jumping out as they double up. The open man, Aguirre, from Thomas for a three-pointer.
That's the exact same spot he knocked out a three against Portland in the championship series.
3-point lead for Isaiah's team. Three-pointer by Magic Johnson. And Herb Williams follows the rebound. Out of 15 seconds. And Isaiah will look to run out the clock. It's out of the pages of Marcus Haynes, but he's tied up with 6 seconds left. It is a 3-point lead for Isaiah Thomas's team.
They're sneaking Magic down the floor, Mark, for the long tip.
So Charles Smith at 6'10" with the decisive height advantage on Isaiah Thomas. I wish these guys would lighten up here down the stretch.
Some serious faces out there.
Oh, yeah. Hugh Holland's making sure on the tip. Jordan would take it. They both stepped away, and this is the end result. It counts, and Isaiah Thomas's team has defeated Magic Johnson's club. So a defeat suffered by Arsenio Hall and his ball club. The final 167-162. Our coverage of NBA basketball basketball will continue in more conventional style here on NBC on October accent. So you've had some experiences there.
Barcelona.
Very nice, Mike. For Mike Fratello, Ahmad Rashad, Marv Albert saying so long from the Midsummer Night's Magic 5th annual All-Star Game at the Forum in Inglewood, California.
For hit as he throws.
Espiel had a 14-point game against the USA last week.
Nice backdoor play. Sconacini. In a rare time, Team USA has been beaten like that defensively.
If you'll take care of the basketball and get it down to a half court, make them work in the half court, use the clock, you can hang around for a while.
Duncan goes strong and draws the foul. He'll shoot two, but a 7-1 run now by Argentina. And let's send it to Craig Sager.
Well, I talked to Julio Lamas before the game. It was one of the most unusual interviews I had with a coach. I said, what do you have to do to win? He goes, it is impossible to win. I said, well, that may be true, but what do you tell your team? He goes, I told him it's impossible to win. Just go out and have fun. If you can open shot, take it. He said, the only chance we have to win is if we shoot the tires out of the bus on the way here.
Most of the coaches have felt the same way, with perhaps the exception of Puerto Rico the other night, as Duncan knocks down the second free throw. USA trailing by 2 here in the early going. But I would say Argentina, from just playing the United States last week, at least not completely. And a foul draw, count it, and one. Tim Duncan commits to foul as Leonardo Gutierrez with a chance for a three-point play.
One of the things you're seeing is they're moving the ball very well. The United States like to trap and double, and they're back cutting. And you see as they go to the basket here, Tim Duncan does not rotate soon enough. A little bit of a circus shot there off the wrong foot, the left hand, the little spinner. But I like the confidence right now by Argentina. They're coming out, they're playing loose, they're not turning the ball over, they're getting good shots, using the clock. As a result, you know, Mike, they lead 9-5 here with a chance to make it 10-5.
Yeah, most of the teams are in awe when they first face the Americans, but because they had that game last week, that's kind of out of the way, so at least they're loose and just playing relaxed basketball.
I agree. You cannot be overwhelmed by this United States team early. If you are, you've got no shot.
Espiel with a nice defensive play. And Argentina really coming out impressively as they lead by 5. Nice move inside, foul, shot won't go. Sconacini very aggressive in taking it to the basket. He's tied as their team's leading scorer as Allen Houston picks up the foul.
The one thing the United States has done over here also too, Mike, is they really play in stretches, in surges. They'll hit you with a 10-0, then a 14-2 run, maybe a 16-4. And see, these teams can't recover from that kind of pressure, those kind of surges. And as an NBA coach, the one thing you try to stay away from are those kind of things. But they just get overwhelmed. They're out-talented, and that's what happens here. So, you know, United States off to a little bit of a slow start here. And again, they have not gotten many layups yet.
A 6-point deficit for Team USA. Looking to get down to Duncan. The quick double team, he's seen certainly a lot of that. Allen Houston, quick hop and shoot, and knocks down the three-pointer. Yeah, that must seem so much easier for him in the shorter distance.
Well, you can just see the great confidence Allen Houston is playing with now, coming off the great performance in the finals.
And Scola gets a pretty pass inside. Luis Scola, 19-year-old, and it's back up to a 5-point lead. Argentina playing a lot more with a lot more intensity defensively than we've seen.
And you can see what their philosophy is going to be. They're going to double back, a lot of zone principles here, and force the United States to make some jump shots.
And Kidman fires on the three. He's going to cheat. Wild shot in and out. That one halfway down. Duncan the quick outlet. Kidd finding a wide open Houston. Jason Kidd the drive.
See again the layup. They do not have the depth to take the fouls. Where you only get 5 fouls, so you got to be careful not getting in foul trouble. So they just give up layups.
That's why United States shooting about 59% in the tournament. Espiel is fouled down low by Kidd. As the two guards for Argentina, Espiel and Sconacini playing extremely well. And more free throws coming up. Timeout.
Giving a little bit different look here.
United States has seen quite a bit of this during the course of the tournament. Nice feed inside by Kidd. Cannot complete it. Some boos here from the crowd. They've seen some explosive highlight dunks. A deliberate offense. Scola making his move on Duncan, blocked by Duncan, but a foul. And Tim Duncan has picked up his second foul. Remember, 5 personals in international ball and you're disqualified.
Now the problem you have with Duncan getting in foul trouble, but you only get 5. Vin Baker, who's going to come into the game right now, is out of shape. He's overweight. He's not playing good basketball. Gugliotta, the other big man for the United States, got his nose broken in the training camp. He has really struggled, and they're playing Kevin Garnett actually as a small forward inside. So right now, weakness would be our depth along the inside, Mike.
And Baker off the bench. He'll come in at the next opportunity. Lead is up to 7 meanwhile. Garnett left open, and Kevin Garnett knocks it down. Garnett has really had a coming out party in this tournament. The veterans very impressed not only with obviously his basketball ability, but his leadership ability.
How about his energy? This guy's got more energy. Asked Gary Payton, I said, who would win in an energy contest with you, Latrell Sprewell, Kevin Garnett, and Jason Kidd? He said, Kevin Garnett. No question.
Well, you got to go with the young guys.
That's
got
right.
the young legs. Show good defense from Allen Houston there on that steal. Shot clock is down to 3. Scola has to fire it up. Jason Kidd will lead it the other way. Payton back out to Kidd. Houston with a quick change. Allen Houston knocks down to 2.
That's good ball movement, one side to the other, and Allen Houston just with a great jump shot. There's a turnover that's going to lead to a layup. You can count on that.
Alley-oop. Kevin Garnett completes it, and the United States now within 1.
So this is what Argentina has to be very, very careful with, is those surges that we talked about.
Espino flips it up with the left hand, and a goaltend. So count the 2. Larry Brown saying no.
Now Larry Brown was saying you can knock the ball off the rim in international basketball. That's not goaltending. Now I do not know why this is goaltending unless he said that it bounced up and wasn't laying on the rim, but you can swat that ball off the rim.
I think the official said that some contact was made either on the net or the rim by a player's hand, which is not.
They always got all the answers, don't they?
Houston again. Allen Houston drills another 2. Houston now 3 of 4 from the field. He has 7 points. There you see the United States bouncing back after the quick start from Argentina. And a whistle away from the ball. It's going to go against Juan Espino, trying to battle for position down low.
See, Gary Payton has the great ability to get in you and just be such a nuisance and a pest. And that time, Espino lost his cool a little bit and got the offensive foul. Those are the unforced errors that you have to stay away from.
So tough to be a guard and play against Payton and Kidd, the 2 Oakland guys. Such great defenders. So much made about their other parts of the game, but they play such tough defense.
There's the play the other way. Vin Baker this time gives a little bump to Gutierrez, and Gutierrez with a nice acting job. Watch Vin Baker now as he tries to post up. Watch his left arm. That's the old European flop right there, Vin. You can't do that.
They have done very well with that. So Baker picks up his first. Argentina still with the lead. And we played over 7 minutes. Montecchio tied up.
Look at the great spacing they have on the floor.
That 2-pointer will not go for Sconacini. Knocked out of bounds, and it goes right back to Argentina.
The United States really needs Vin Baker to be in shape here. He's been a disappointment, Mike. He's got some numbers, but he's carrying about 20 extra pounds. He went through an injury rack season last year with Seattle. He's opted out of his contract. He's a free agent, and a lot of questions on how much money you want to give this guy right now as he lost his desire to play.
Sconacini, Montecchio actually knocking that one in. He's got 7 points, and Argentina back up by 3. Yeah, they've got some tough decisions in Seattle.
Absolutely.
Gary Payton says, though, he'll be back. They become good friends. Payton is confident he'll be back. Baker's not so sure, though.
Well, they need him back as an all-star. Not as the guy that played last year.
Good ball movement. Kennan, a nice fake underneath. Flips up the rim. Shot won't go. Ball tipped out. Ball deflected by Payton. And Argentina will gain control. Very impressive start from Argentina. And Baker's shaken up. He injured an ankle early on in the tournament. Seems bothered by that once again. Just over 8 minutes gone by. USA down by 3. the way they've done it that's a surprise.
Well, they've taken the pressure defense of the United States, only turned it over twice, spread the floor, back cut, got to the lane, and look at the points in the paint. 18, only 3 on the perimeter. This is a team really that lives with their three-point shooting. So the United States shooting 64%, but are trailing into this game because of all the layups.
Scola against Baker, tries to go baseline. Baker gets a piece of it, knocks it away. Ball still loose. Good hustle by a number of players, and here comes the USA. Down by 3 as we approach near the midway point of the first half. High century pass to Garnett. Ball deflected, however. Manuel Ginobili with a pass ahead. Houston picks it up. Argentina getting a little sloppy now. Garnett, touch pass to Payton, and there's the unselfish play.
Absolutely. One of the things that Larry Brown has done with his team with the pressure defense is also get him to make the extra pass. You put a group of guys like this together, and when they make the extra pass, that's the kind of action that you get.
And they have been more than willing. It's a team that have really checked the egos when this all started.
You know, I think the United States committee's done a great job. The great back cut there once again.
Passes up the shoot. It's the side of the backboard from Nocioni. Back to Garnett. Ball deflected away. Houston trying to hustle. And picked up by Sconacini. Heat inside. And Manuel Ginobili with the bucket.
Mike, just to follow up that point, I think the committee's done a nice job also of putting together a group of guys who are talented but also great representatives of the country. That's vital, you know, when you're going to play an international ball and need this unselfish play.
They have handled themselves so well both on and off the court. Garnett, count it, and a foul. Chance for a three-point play from Kevin Garnett.
We're going to see Larry Brown now go to his bench. Tim Hardaway will come in along with Steve Smith. Tim Hardaway, I thought, played his best game the other night against Puerto Rico. He's coming off knee surgery. It's been about 6 weeks ago. Looked like he hit a little bit more bounce in his step the other day, Mike. And then Steve Smith, we know, is a great shooter. And he played exceptionally well in the game that Payton fouled out. Came in and gave him 18 points and gave him a big lift against Brazil.
So Smith comes in for Houston. Hardaway coming in for Jason Kidd. Garnett hits the free throw. The game tied at 23.
Now this team is not a good pressure defense. Tim Hardaway with his legs, Steve Smith, they lose some of that pressure defense when they take Kidd out of the game.
Well, the word you keep using, that high energy from the first unit. Three-point misfire, Ginobili. Garnett, quick outlet to Hardaway. Ahead to Baker, and Baker fouled by Ginobili. That'll be his first, as we're right at the halfway point of the opening 20 minutes. 15 foul.
I know, Mike, I felt like at this point in the game, the United States would probably be about 15. I'm really impressed with how Argentina has come out and played with great confidence.
Maybe a bit of an emotional letdown, because Thursday night the atmosphere here was wonderful. And you want to go into any NBA arena, it was as wild and as loud as Payton misfires. And a foul called underneath. This one will go against Luis Scola. But here, when you have the pride of the country, there's about 12,300 people in here waving their flags, singing chants, blowing horns. It was a great atmosphere, and it was a hostile one that they really responded to. Payton with a three-pointer, won't go. Garnett, nice feed into Smith, and a travel. Now you have, Doug, all of a sudden they come to this game, and it's the first semifinal. Puerto Rico plays in the second game. The crowd is still just filing in. It's very quiet in here.
Well, these guys are used to playing in big games, United States, with the hostile crowds in the playoffs and all, and they thrive in that kind of environment. And the game is, the arena here is a little dead, and they're going to have to find a way to energize themselves. The crowd will not do it today.
Somebody with a lot of energy misfires. Montecchia looking for his shot early. Crowd wanted a carry, and Steve Smith backs down to 3, and the USA, after trailing by as many as 6, back up on top.
Well, he and Allen Houston are the best perimeter shooters on this team. You give them open looks, they're going to make a high percentage, especially from 20 feet at that three-point line.
Feed inside, Scola. There's the touch pass. Nocioni goes underneath.
3 seconds.
Putting it up there. Ball still loose. And it's finally going to be Argentina ball. Right now, they're taking bad shots. They're being altered by the presence inside.
Well, I think they got excited. They were getting layups, and the United States sort of closed that down now. And what they have to do is settle for that little jump shot. Nocioni had a little jump shot there, and he tried to get fancy with it and took a tough shot.
They've missed 4 of their last 5 shots. That's Nocioni. Goes at Garnett, flips it up. Won't go. Rebound Baker. A 3-point lead for the Americans. This once again the semifinals, and a foul inside of Nocioni. A victory today would clinch an Olympic berth in Sydney for next year and would eliminate Argentina for possible Olympic play. There's only 2 teams in this tournament make it, as you see Tom Gugliotta coming in with the protective mask, suffered the broken nose, got an elbow in the practice from his Phoenix Suns teammate Jason Kidd, and it has been a frustrating tournament for him because of the injury, and that has forced him not to play as much as he wanted.
I'll tell you, it's tough to play in that mask. If you've never done that before, your vision, your breathing, everything is disrupted. It's very, very hard.
He was saying that it's hard to see the ball unless it's passed directly at you. There's no peripheral vision. It's Baker with a nice move inside. USA now at an 8-0 run. Nocioni can't complete it. Gugliotta the outlet. Shots that were falling early for Argentina no longer falling, and Hardaway puts it in. Tim Hardaway puts USA up by 7.
These are that surge that we talked about. The game now, the United States taking over, starting to wear them down. Remember, they talked a little depth for Argentina. United States now just wearing them down. Not so much with their pressure defense, but just pushing the ball at them every time down the floor.
And an offensive foul on Andres Nocioni. You know the runs are coming. It's just a matter of trying to hold them to some kind of limit. USA on a 10-0 run right now. Teammates loved it as well. And otherwise a blowout victory for the United States. But Garnett was very impressed with him and said he hopes that move gets him some endorsements. Then Baker gets inside. Baker being productive here early.
Well, they're going inside. They're not settling for the outside shot now. 18 fouls on Argentina. They'll shoot free throws the rest of the way. United States will. So go inside, attack them. They're undersized, 6'9", their biggest player.
Dino Bally trying to get some room against Baker. Puts it up left-handed, misfires. The follow put up and backed in nicely by Gutierrez. Another one of the young players. This is a very young team from Argentina. And that ends the run at 12 straight. Hardaway, hop step in the 3.
Tim Hardaway really has been the guy shooting the threes. He's taken 44 threes in the 8 games coming into this tournament, made 17, a lot of them because of the leg. He just couldn't penetrate like he normally does, so he's settling for that outside jump shot.
Puts the USA up by 10. That's Victoriano with the ball. Juanes Fields trying to come off the screen. Lost it out of bounds. Still Argentina ball with 9 left on the 30-second shot clock.
I think Coach Lamas from Argentina is just hoping his team can stay around, not let this game in the last 6 minutes get up to 20.
The quick shot won't go. Baker the rebound. Hardaway pushing it up 3-on-2. The numbers for the U.S. Gugliotta blocked from behind. Ball's trying to be saved, knocked out of bounds. Argentina ball.
Now, that's one of those situations with that mask. Normally you have a sense of somebody's around you. And in that mask, you can only see ahead of you. So he didn't get the feeling that he had a man trailing from behind to block his shot.
Dino Bali able to block it. Open shots. Now you see the hesitation inside. They don't want to put it up in there. Gutierrez. Good defense from Gugliotta. Then he gets the rebound and nice outlet as well. Smith open jumper. 3 won't go. And a foul called on Steve Smith with 5:36 remaining in the first half. And the United States now a little bit of a margin, up by 10. They trail by 6. A good way into this first half.
This guy's a great coach. Mike, we had a fun time visiting with him before the game. He was animated. He was alive for the game. He said, you know, our team 2002, Indianapolis, look out. He said, we could be pretty good, but he's got young guys getting some experience.
That'll be the World Championships. He's very pleased with the way his team has performed. Again, they got blown out last Saturday, but they've come back nicely. They're one of the teams to beat Puerto Rico. And anybody who's seen the games here in Puerto Rico in front of the hometown fans, that is no easy task.
Well, his big disappointment is he said, you know what, the United States really shouldn't have to qualify. They're the defending Olympic champion, and for them having to qualify, it takes away from one of the other teams being able to get there. So instead of really 2 teams getting here from the Americas, really only 1.
And there are some good teams that are here. For example, Puerto Rico and Canada, which were playing the other semifinal. Only one of those 2 teams will go. Payton, nice move inside. Gary Payton with a little flash. USA up by 12.
Gary Payton's just one of those guys who loves to play basketball. He'll play all day long. Hardaway's that way. Garnett, Jason Kidd, they love to play.
Long three-pointer and way off the mark. Victoriano can't connect. Quickly down the floor, and now USA starting to pull away. And a timeout called with 4:26 remaining. A 19-2 run for Larry Brown. United States now up by 12 here late in the first half.
Well, see, the one thing you do normally when you're in the NBA is you call a timeout when a team's on a run like this. You say, where can we get a basket? And you try to go to somebody and get you a hoop. Here, who are you going to get a basket from?
And a travel, excellent defense from the United States. First with Garnett's block and then the recovery. So a travel call.
Well, Mike, after all the layups, remember they had 18 points in the paint of the first 21. They've now missed or made 2 of their last 14 shots. So it's the United States defense taking away the layups really that's blowing this game open for them. Really not the turnovers as much as just their good interior defense now.
And not getting any good shots at all. They're contested, and some of them are just prayers throwing them up there as Hardaway tries to get inside to Garnett. But a foul before the shot. Juan Espiel. And that'll be his first. Hardaway will go to the free throw line. So Tim Hardaway, the oldest player on this USA team at 32, getting his chance to represent his country. We have a moment. Tell you tomorrow, NBC presents the ultimate test of endurance, the Ironman Triathlon. Some of the best athletes in the world accept the challenge of swimming, biking, then running a marathon in the Hawaiian heat. Just finishing is considered amazing. The 20th anniversary Ironman Triathlon tomorrow, 2 Eastern on NBC. How many triathlons have you won?
No, that's a little bit too much for me, Mike. I saw you out running. I was thinking more of you along those lines. Now I can get on the bike.
Payton, nice feet inside. And once again, the defense leads to offense. Argentina being overwhelmed right now. Hardaway, good defense from behind. Hardaway tries to get fancy with Garnett. Doesn't work.
That would have really turned the house down, and he made that one.
An open jumper. And finally a basket. It's been a while as Juan Espiel puts it in.
Well, see, they needed that because what had happened, they had picked up the speed of their offense. They were trying to play too quickly. They were taking bad shots. That's what happens with pressure defense. When they pressure you, instead of pulling back and going slower, you get going too quickly, and it just leads to those surges that we talked about in those runs.
Well, they've played much better, Argentina. They were down by 30 at halftime in the first game last week. Payton inside. Hardaway spotting up, and a 3-second violation.
Gary Payton should have probably shot that ball, tried to be a little too unselfish. You saw Hardaway spotting up behind the three-point line, and that extra pass will get you in trouble with that 3-second call.
Garnett helping out on defense. A wide open shot from Gutierrez, and gets the nice roll. Soft rims here at the Roberto Clemente Coliseum.
Now remember, this is a team that shoots 48% from 3 in this tournament, so that's not a fluke. These guys can shoot the ball.
And Smith loses it out of bounds.
See, Larry Brown, what he doesn't want now is for his team to fall asleep in the last 2 minutes. They had an 18-point lead. Now it's down to 13. A 3 here makes it 10. And all of a sudden now you allow them to come back into the game somewhat.
Again, they kick it out. Gino Bali wide open to 2. In and out. And Garnett the rebound. Hardaway. Drop pass from Payton. Steve Smith. Garnett. Baker back out. There's the wide open for Gary. Payton knocks it down. Payton is shooting an incredible percentage. 75% from the field in this tournament. Of course, most of those are layups.
Well, he had a 25-point game the other night. He had 11 layups. You're talking to him about it afterwards. He said, hey, anybody can make 11 layups.
He has been over 50% from three-point range. And again, the shorter distance might not seem like a nice feet inside. And Gutierrez with a nice bucket. Gino Bali, pretty pass.
Well, basically, the United States switches all screens. And that time, Kevin Garnett and Gary Payton got confused. They didn't talk to each other. And the man just slipped it, and a nice pass.
14-point lead for the United States as we approach a minute remaining. Hardaway, long three, puts it in. Tim Hardaway from downtown.
You got to feel good for Tim Hardaway. I mean, he was chosen for the 94 team, tore his cruciate ligament 12 days later, had to miss. Then he was chosen for the team last year, lockout, had to miss. He realizes his chances are getting slimmer. That's why he's here playing even with his knee injured. He just wanted to play.
Yeah, he really is enjoying the experience. Gino Valley tries to get fancy inside. Gutierrez trying to get out of there. Here are the calls for the 3-second. Move inside the field. Won't go down for him. Knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Argentina. Coming up in a half minute remaining. Coming up, the AT&T halftime report with Ahmad Rashad. Preview of today's WNBA game between the Liberty and the Sparks. Plus Ahmad talks with Kevin Garnett on the AT&T halftime report.
Yeah, Ahmad was over here the other day, got out of town before we got here, Mike. He was over doing a little inside stuff, doing double duty in the summer.
Gino Bali the other way. They didn't stay long. We thought we'd see him. Long three-point. Knocks it down. Lucas Victoriano. And Argentina kind of hanging in there in the final seconds.
Steve Smith loves these kind of shots.
That won't go as he released it after the buzzer. And an impressive performance from Argentina. United States a little sluggish early, and then went on one of their vaunted runs and just got a little sloppy in the last couple of minutes. So halftime, the semifinals of the Olympic qualifying tournament of the Americas. United States, a 14-point lead over Argentina.
Hey, you play 3 games in a row, that's a lot. You know, next year it'll go back probably to 2 because of the 82-game schedule. That takes its toll on players.
Nice move inside, Luis Scola. Another of the fine young players, another one just 19 years old. Youngest player on the team. They feel he's going to be a good one. And Argentina's still hanging around. 16-point lead for the United States as we approach 3 minutes gone by here in the second half.
You know, my coach Lamas has got to be very proud of his team. They have come out and competed, and they've hung around like you talked about. They're outmanned. They're a young team, but he likes the upside of this Argentinian team as they continue to develop and mature and get this kind of experience.
Kidd on the steal. Pate right back to Kidd. Duncan left open, won't shoot that. Kidd goes inside, and Jason Kidd.
You can see them sort of hanging their head now. They know, you know what, we hung around, we're down 20. They're wearing us out. It's the biggest lead of the game. They needed this timeout. The coach is going to have to give his best pep talk of the tournament now.
The inevitable for Argentina as they're down by 20. Largest lead of the game for U.S.
Allow us to present.
Basketball had to qualify for a spot in the Olympic Games was 92 in Portland. Michael Jordan and the original Dream Team. Magic Johnson, David Robinson. Perhaps the greatest collection for a team ever put together. Clyde Drexler. Boy, they all look so young there. And there it is.
Well, you know, it's interesting, Mike, when you look at these, Charles Barkley, the only guy, he'd just been traded before this. Everybody else had played for one team at this point in their career. There was great stability. Now with the free agency and guys playing around to different teams and going to different teams and the trading, of this team, you have 3 college players, the 9 professional players. 6 of them have already been on more than one team in their careers, and they're all relatively young.
And though it's a nice move inside by Sconacini, you hope the new collective bargaining agreement, it's going to go back to the other way now, because I think fans, that's something important to the fans, to have that loyal following of the same guys you can count on, not the constant shuffling.
Couldn't agree with you more.
Duncan inside, ball deflected, blocked by, it looked like Scola got a piece of it. Sconacini misfires. They have not shot the ball well from 3-point range after the first couple of minutes. Scola the hook. And Garnett able to get it off the Kidd. Court violation. The United States has turned it over a little bit more than certainly Larry Brown wants to see.
Push the action, and the problem is they're not getting the turnovers on their own, so they're doing more full court where they're rebounding the ball and have to play at 94 feet rather than getting the turnovers, having numbers, and really playing, you know, half court against these teams. And I'm sure Larry Brown, he's a perfectionist. The guy is the ultimate teacher, and he does not like to see turnovers.
That's the 11th turnover for the U.S., just 9 for Argentina. It's one of the reasons why they've been able to at least hang around for much of the game, down by 18 right now. Victoriano trying to find an opening. Shot clock dwindling down to 5. Long three. Victoriano way off the mark. Garnett seemed to enjoy playing him out there.
Well, they just switched, and Kevin Garnett said, "You can't beat me off the dribble. Go ahead." The guy ends up shooting about a 25-footer.
Alan Houston misfires.
Well,
Sconacini quickly the other way.
He usually doesn't miss that one, Mike. That's usually money in the bank for Alan Houston.
And there's the turnover. Payton with the steal. USA with the numbers. Kidd, nice back pass. Payton puts it in. Larry Brown has loved that unselfish play, as we mentioned. And as you talk about Larry Brown, remember he was scheduled to be one of the assistant coaches. Rudy Tomjanovich, suffering from exhaustion, backed out as the doctors told him it would not be wise for him to go to this schedule coming here to Puerto Rico. So Brown has taken over. Gene Cady and Tubby Smith.
Great staff he has with him. And you know, Larry Brown ultimately really is a college coach at heart. I mean, he's a guy who loves to teach and all, and he loves this environment where he can be with the guys. He wishes there was some practice time because Larry's a guy who loves to get out and teach. But with Gene Cady and Tubby Smith there, he really likes his assistants. And, you know, we hope to see Rudy T back next year, that he'll be feeling much, much better.
Larry Brown's had a lot of accomplishments in his career. I still think the most impressive is he brought the Clippers to the playoffs.
That's true, and everywhere he's been, he has been a winner.
First free throw is good. Tonight on CNBC, The Olympic Show. We'll take a look at endurance, a documentary about the life of Ethiopian distance runner Haile Gebrselassie. Then America's best hope for Olympic gold in the pole vault. Jeff Hartwig talks about the games and shows off his reptile collection. That's The Olympic Show tonight on CNBC. The lead is 18 for the United States. Steve Smith, Tim Duncan, Payton out there right now. Smith has it taken away. Sconacini's having a ball out there playing right now. He's got a smile on his face right from the get-go. Gutierrez operating. That's Gino Bailey. Gino Bailey, by the way, a second-round pick of the Spurs in the '99 draft. And a turnover. That's Gino Bailey. 6'6" swingman, only 22 years old, excellent shooter from the outside.
The problem is when you play the United States, you just don't get much time to get that shot off. At the 20-foot distance for the three-point line, Mike, the United States can close out on shooters so much quicker than you can at that 23-foot mark. So it's tough for these guys to get good looks at the basket.
So they'll inbound underneath, reset the clock. Shot one. And Garnett. Another Garnett took a shot in the face, but still put it in. Garnett now with 11 points. It was a good start from Argentina. They're up by 7. Early in the first half, played very well, but the U.S. with a 23-2 run. And the lead's been anywhere between 16 and 20 since then. Three-pointer knocked down by Sconacini.
You can see this young guy's got some talent. He's 6'7", 218 pounds, only 20 years old. Excuse me, he's 28 years old. He has a little bit of age on him, but he has some experience, and he's having some fun.
Gino Bailey throws it ahead. Behind the back pass, Payton able to steal it. Victoriano tried to get fancy. And then Gino Bailey on the foul. More substitutions. Tim Hardaway is going to come back in the game for the U.S. Hardaway, strong first half, as you mentioned, at his best game against Puerto Rico, and continuing that today.
Well, it's an interesting substitution because Gary Payton played the whole way in the first half. Jason Kidd is going to sit down, and really he's the guy who's played most minutes in the tournament. So, you know, Larry Brown choosing to take Jason out rather than give Gary Payton a little rest. He might have a 40-minute day here today.
You mentioned Kidd, about 26 minutes to lead the United States. That's been a difficult time, a 3-second violation call against the U.S. That's been difficult for Larry Brown. You have all these great players. You have the 9 NBA players plus the 3 college players who they're not getting much time unless it's a blowout. But to find the time, he finds it difficult because not only are they all good, but you only have a 40-minute game.
Absolutely. That's 8 less minutes to divvy up between your players. And let's face it, every one of these guys come over here and they want to play.
Another turnover. Hardaway, touch pass to Payton. Puts it in. So as he knocked it out after it went through the rim.
You know, Mike, when I used to evaluate players, obviously the first thing you look for in a player is talent. And the two things that used to jump out at me were competitive toughness. Does the guy love to play? And then energy. Does the guy have energy? And when you look at the guys who really have played the best in this tournament for the United States, it's those guys with that high energy. Here's one right here, Kevin Garnett. Watch this alley-oop right here. He's going to finish it.
Garnett trying to flip it, won't go. Then knocked it away and gets called for the foul.
But I mean, it's like the further the game goes, the more excited they get to play. I mean, Kevin Garnett, we saw him in the pool yesterday having fun, throwing kids around. Earlier in the week, he was out on the court playing with kids here. Just wants to play basketball.
I think you said it best. We were talking earlier this week about he understands what his role is and where he's at right now in his life and how appreciative he is of everything that's come his way. But his love of the game is amazing. You can take 4 people out of the stands and he'd be glad to play a game with them.
No question. And he's really become the crowd favorite because of his dunks and his energy and his enthusiasm.
Gino Bally scores the other way, and Argentina's still down by 17. I know it sounds silly to say hanging in there, but compared to what's happened in most of these games, this is quite an effort from them. Garnett wants to do a little one-on-one, now finds Duncan. Inside, and Tim Duncan with authority.
How about that? Kevin Garnett plays pick and roll with Duncan and becomes the passer.
Flip-up shot won't go for Montecchia. Payton, and an offensive foul. Luis Scola drawing the charge. And Payton picking up the personal. That's going to be for Payton his second. And a timeout on the floor. With just over 11 minutes remaining in the semifinal. United States in control. As Gino Billy misfires on a 3, that even these players who make millions and millions of dollars playing in the NBA, they really have that feeling of playing for their country.
There is no other feeling like playing for your country. And I know one of the things that I have missed in my life is, you know, I thought we had a gold medal. To be able to be up there with your teammates, to get that gold medal, to hear the national anthem being played, regardless of how much money you've made, there's no other feeling like being the United States basketball team winning and representing your country.
You know, these players have talked about it quite a bit, and this is just, again, a qualifying. All 9 of the NBA players, as Gino Bally stripped down low by Duncan. Look at the hands on Duncan down there. Gino Bally will try it again. Misfires. All 9 of the NBA players will be on the team in Sydney, as Hardaway goes underneath and flips it in. But the 3 college players, Selton Brand, Richard Hamilton, and Wally Zerbiak, they will not be on the team. 3 others will have to be selected.
Yeah, and it probably is going to be Grant Hill, who would have been here, except he's getting married this week. Congratulations to Grant. And then Shaquille O'Neal. And then they're going to have to think, who probably will the third one be? They're going to get a shooter, another ball handler, a bigger guy. That'll be the question. But that will change this team also, too, because it will make their bench different. It will give them different depth. And these guys right here, obviously, you see Wally Zerbiak, Elton Brand, Richard Hamilton. They would love to play, but they understand. You know, it comes their time, and these 9 guys deserve to play.
Brand had a good comment. He said, we're nothing but sponges. Because we're soaking everything up, learning about what it's like dealing with these NBA players. And it's been a great experience, and you can bet the coaches and general managers of their respective teams that they're going to go into the league, they're grateful to see them get this kind of experience.
You know what I like what these guys are going through here? Most every one of these guys have never sat on the bench for any period of time in their life. Now they know what it's like when teammates sit over there and watch them play. It gives them a whole different perspective of now playing and being out there on the floor as to sitting and watching. That's a good experience to go through.
18-point lead for the United States as we approach 9 minutes remaining here in the semifinal. A victory for the United States, the inevitable victory, and they automatically qualify for the Olympic Games. Baker with the rejection. That should have been a goaltender. It appeared that way. Aspirura. And now they call a goaltend down the other way. And Argentina not pleased with the lack of consistency there.
You see, Vin Baker, this is his 2nd block shot of the tournament. You see being posted over here. Aspirura goes up for the little left-handed hook, and Vin Baker comes over and gets the block.
Officiating can sometimes be an adventure in international basketball.
And that's why you have to be so good that it doesn't matter. In my case, in 72, we weren't dominant enough to play through it. These guys, it would be, you would have to get the crookedest officials in America to come in and handicap this as such to where the United States couldn't play through it.
The officials for this game, one from Israel and another from Italy. First free throw is good. Sports car racing returns to NBC Sports tomorrow for the American Le Mans Series Grand Prix of Sonoma. See 24 hours of Le Mans winning team BMW as they race on the legendary Sears Point Raceway against some of the world's most exotic cars. American Le Mans Series Grand Prix on Sonoma tomorrow at 4 Eastern, right here on NBC. Hardaway, long three. Tim Hardaway has found the range here today.
He's starting to get his legs back. And, you know, Mike, when you play, everything is generated from your legs. Your balance, your strength, your power, your endurance. You can see him starting to get more confident in that leg as this tournament has gone on.
He said it's about 75% right now. And he was not the same. You could see in the first round against the Knicks in the playoffs that knee was really bothering him, but to his credit, he never used it as an excuse. Molly misfires on the three. Baker, quick outlet. Hardaway, nice inside to Gugliotta, and a foul on Gino Bali. So Gugliotta will shoot a couple of free throws. And we'll have another timeout. Crowd reacts. Just over 7.5 remaining in the second half. The United States a 21-point advantage.
Don't you worry, little guys. I'll find you a happy home.
Hey, Verma, are guaranteed spots in the 2000. How will the other three guys be chosen, and who are they?
Well, the committee will sit down, try to ascertain what we need to fill out our squad, and then choose accordingly. Right now, I couldn't tell you what we need, but once this is over, we sit down and figure out what we need. Then when we have our next meeting, we'll select the final 3 players.
Is Grant Hill guaranteed a spot on the team?
No one is guaranteed a spot at this time.
Were you at all worried today when the U.S. was down by 7 in the first half?
Yes, very worried.
You can relax now, though. Let's go back to Mike and Doug.
He's a former coach. He's going to worry. You know that.
He looks relaxed. No tie, no jacket. As USA has had a lot of their people down here supporting. And the second game of the semifinal is Puerto Rico and Canada. 2 very fine teams. One of them will not go to the Olympics as the foul is drawn that time by Hugo Sconacini. They're a good young team, and it's a shame that they're not going to get a chance to go and play in Sydney next year.
And you know what? I really agree with the coaches here that, you know, the United States being the past Olympic champion, even with the lockout last year, shouldn't have had to qualify for this because one of these teams is going to be prevented from getting there. They deserve to be there. And, you know, Canada, you know, had they had Rick Fox and Bill Winnington, you know, I think would have been really a strong favorite. Now they've got to beat Puerto Rico here on their home court in the game after this. That's going to be a tough game for them.
A third free throw on the three-point attempt while being fouled. Or Hugo Sconacini.
Mike, that's why everybody was fighting for those 2 and 3 spots. 4 put you against the United States. Right. You know you have no chance, so you got to get to 2 or 3. And really, Argentina was 1 basket away in the Canada and Puerto Rico game, or they would have been 3. That's how their whole fate was changed because it goes point differential when you have a tiebreaker.
All 3 teams 6 and 2 in the tournament. As Hardaway misfires. Again, Argentina, they were 1 and 2 at one point. They got blown out by the U.S. last Saturday by 31. They're 1 and 2 and in danger of not even making it to the semifinals, and they reel off 5 in a row with this young squad. Nocioni against Gugliotta. Good defense from Gugliotta. Baker the rebound. Baker has 8 boards. Vin Baker, as we mentioned, has struggled. Has been a force inside as Gugliotta gets a nice pass.
Nocioni tried to take the little flop there as Gugliotta bumped him, but not enough to draw the foul. And it's good to see Googs out there playing. I could tell he was discouraged the other night. He came over here to play and compete, and really this has been a tough experience for him.
Payton deflects it out of bounds. Gugliotta, who's played for 4 NBA teams and his 7 seasons in the league, now seems to have a nice place playing with Jason Kidd. Boy, he's a fun guy to play with.
Oh, I would love to play with Jason Kidd. He's one of those guys who does everything for you except shoot it. He rebounds it, he pushes it, and if you run along, he'll get you open shots. And if you can shoot the ball, he will get you the shots.
Sconacini misses again. approaching 6 minutes remaining here in the semifinals. The United States pulling away slowly here in the second half. Foul called inside as Gugliotta tried to pass it out. That's for Europe call for the personal, and we'll have another timeout. 6:01 remaining. Jason Kidd and his team can coast down the stretch. They've wrapped up at least a berth, but they still have a championship game tomorrow against the winner of Cuba and Puerto Rico, or Puerto Rico and Canada, that is. Ciano misses. Of course, at the college level, now at the pro level, and this is his third opportunity, Brown, that is, coaching a USA basketball or being part of a USA coaching basketball staff.
He has tremendous respect for the game and for United States basketball. And although this is, 3 weeks or so out of his summer schedule, he wouldn't miss this for anything. And I know he doesn't want to be coaching in place of Rudy T, but I do know that this has been a wonderful experience. We see he and his wife and his children walking around here. And I saw him this morning at 8:30. And he asked me if I wanted to go for a walk. And I said, Larry, I'm not nervous. You're nervous, you coach. I'm going to have breakfast here.
Yeah, he really was nervous.
He was nervous.
26-point advantage, just over 5.5 to play. Asperua against Vin Baker. Baker all over him. Nice feed inside. Gino Bali won't go down. And that has happened throughout much of the game. The first couple of minutes, those shots were falling for Argentina. Since then, they can find it difficult to get an open look. Baker stripped. Gino Bali quickly the other way. There's an open shot. A three-pointer for Facundo Sukatsky. Has hardly played at all in this tournament. In fact, the only time he really got minutes was in the first blowout against the Americans. He's the one guy that likes to face the Americans because he's guaranteed some playing time. Under 5 minutes remaining. On the leader. Baker deflects it out of bounds, and it's Argentina ball. Again, they'll play the championship game tomorrow as Elton Brand, Duke All-America, and first overall pick of the Chicago Bulls.
A lot of pressure on Elton Brand as we take a look going into Chicago, trying to help rebuild the Chicago Bulls, that proud championship tradition that Michael Jordan created, he and Scottie Pippen through the years.
Nocioni. Asperua putting it in. 78-57. Just under 4.5 to play in the second. Along with Doug Collins and Craig Sager. Mike Breen on hand here in San Juan, the Roberto Clemente Coliseum. Semifinals of the Olympic qualifying tournament. Brand called for travel.
It's so hard when you sit there to come in and try to play. You keep yourself mentally in the game, as we see Wally Serbiak, but your body gets stiff. I don't care how young you are. You get in there and you try to get yourself going. It's very, very hard to play. Larry Brown knows that.
And again, these guys are not used to it. You're talking about All-Americas, top players in the nation. Peyton, coast to coast for Peyton, and a goal test called.
Yeah, normally Elton Brand and Wally Serbiak are the guys who are being taken out right now as the other guys, the bench players, are coming in. So new role for these guys.
Well, they've had a few new roles. They've been the ones that have had to carry the bags and the balls. Gino Bali goes up and he misses the jam. And it's also a long ride between where the team is staying. Hardaway inside to Brand. Brand misfires. Good follow. The team is staying about an hour away from this Coliseum, and it's a long bus ride for them. And every once in a while they have to pull over and get snacks. And you bet it's always one of the rookies who have to go in and buy the snacks.
Well, you know that. That's the way it's supposed to be.
Ball deflected again. Doesn't matter what the score is. Peyton's still playing as hard as he did in the first minute.
Now, we probably won't see Richard Hamilton. Now, he sprained an ankle early in practice, has not really played, has not felt well over here, missed a game, missed some practices, and I don't think the tone that he set here has been a real positive one. I hope for the young man's sake, when he gets to Washington, he just signed his contract, that he'll get back into the swing of things, but I don't think that he's had a stellar 2 weeks here in San Juan, Mike.
Well, it's been very tough. And the injury, everything snowballed after that as Hardaway misfires. Under 3 minutes remaining, and what is turning into another blowout victory for the United States. Palladino loses it, ball knocked loose. Brand jumps on the floor.
You saw Steve Smith was watching that ball. He said, look, we're up 25. I'm not diving. Here comes Elton Brand on top looking for that loose ball. He said, I have to dive.
Nice move inside. Zukotsky. He's only played 11 minutes in the tournament. And again, most of them coming in the blowout loss to the United States. There's no question for some of these players. It's a huge thrill as Elton Brand puts it in. They're saying it's an honor to lose by 30. I mean, there was one instance earlier against Uruguay. Kevin Garnett, during a free throw, one of the players he's playing against asked him, "Can I take a picture with you after the game?"
Mike, in '92, I was broadcasting a tournament at the time with the Tournament of the Americas in Portland. We're doing a game, and I forget which team it was. Magic Johnson was guarding a guy in the post. The guy had the ball, and he was telling his buddy on the bench to take a picture of him while he's posting with Magic Johnson guarding him.
Serbia won't go down. Another guy had told Garnett, "It's an honor to have my shot blocked by you, Mr. Garnett."
Well, Gino Bealey's had a tough day. He just can't get one to go. Give him another one, 3 for a quarter here.
A sloppy finish down the stretch here as we approach under a minute and a half remaining. Steve Smith on the reverse side. And the United States sticks to business. Now their biggest lead. And as you mentioned earlier, Doug, first 5 games they dominated. Then they went through a little spot where they didn't play as well in the big game Thursday night against Puerto Rico. And they've just come out and taken care of business here to wrap up at least the automatic berth to the Sydney Olympics next year. Pass inside out of bounds. Our Coors Light leaders for the United States. Barry Payton leading in scoring, just under 16 a game. Tim Duncan just under 10 rebounds per game, and Jason Kidd just under 8 assists per game.
And we need to remind everybody also, the championship game tomorrow will be 8 Eastern on TNT. Hubie Brown will be here with Kevin Harlan, and if you want to get a feel of international basketball, nobody knows international basketball like Hubie Brown. This guy is an encyclopedia, so they will have the championship game tomorrow.
It'll be the winner of Puerto Rico, Canada. If it's Puerto Rico, this place will be packed as it was Thursday night. Alley-oop. Oh, go. Sione wanted it. As the final seconds ticking away, Elton Brand, the college star, is getting a chance to show a little bit. Shot clock is turned off. Argentina put up a good fight early, but Kevin Garnett and the United States once again dominant and running away. Another blowout victory. Final seconds. The United States have made it official. They have qualified for the Sydney Olympics next year in Australia. An 88-59 victory. And the applause from the crowd. Tim Duncan did not have to have one of his special games, but that's been the case with this team. It's just they share the wealth.
See, I think the one thing, when you're playing against the NBA players as an international player out of FIBA, the one thing you recognize is just how big a gap there is. How far do we have to go? How much better do we have to get? Sometimes when you're playing against the college players, you don't understand. When you play against the best, you know where you fit. And look at the great respect both teams have for each other as the game is over.
A 29-point win. Craig Sager standing by with the winning head coach.
Well, Coach, the championship game.
And he's averaging 16 points. He has just been terrific in the open floor. And you can see the key to the pressing and trapping also is Garnett. At 7 foot, his ability to play the man out of bounds after the U.S. scores and put the pressure on the traps, interesting.
Watch Due South at 6 and ER at 7, weeknights on TNT.
A new force to be reckoned with. Motor Trend. Reliability, it's guaranteed. Edmunds.com. God's own warranty plan. Confident, secure handling. The ride is also excellent. A solid piece of machine. Fresh and
The Hyundai Sonata. It seems wherever it goes, praise from the automotive press is never far behind.
Driver, April 99.
The Sonata from Hyundai. Backed by America's best warranty.
Here's one reason so many people come to Midas for brakes. Here's another. A lifetime guarantee on genuine Midas brakes at every Midas nationwide. Go safely. Go Midas.
Boy, you're sweating like crazy.
You got TV cameras all over you.
We asked the hottest pros under the sun to switch antiperspirants.
Invisible Solid? What's that?
Degree Invisible Solid is body heat activated with a clear difference.
Right there. See, there's no white stuff.
Degree works hard but never shows.
You gotta be cool.
All right, go, fellas. 1, 2, 3. USA!
One of the great things about this is we get great access in these huddles.
Well, you can see Larry Brown. He's been with a number of NBA teams, but he's led 6 of them to the NBA playoffs. Gene Cady, 21 seasons. How about 5 times National Coach of the Year? And then Tubby Smith, naturally in his time at Tulsa and then at Georgia and now at Kentucky with the national champions in '98. This is a great, outstanding teaching staff. Every player here is benefiting by these 3 men.
And every player has mentioned the teaching they've gotten here the last couple weeks.
Well, that, you know, when you get on all-star teams, you know, it's just not about running up and down. These guys got an extra bonus here because this staff is going to help their overall game.
Knocked away by Garnett, slaps it away. Payton now down the middle. And locates Kidd, who gets the Garnett screen, who finds Duncan on a great play by the U.S.
The United States has so many excellent passers who can get you the ball in traffic, Kevin, and that's the perfect example. Not only Jason Kidd, but Payton, Steve Smith, Garnett. These guys can deliver you a great pass while they're double or triple teamed.
A perfect start so far for the U.S. Here's Payton working on Sherman Hamilton. And Gary hits a nice fadeaway as he worked his way down low.
Well, that's Gary at his best. He loves the post up. People think that he's 6'2" or 6'3". He's a legitimate 6'4", 6'4 and a half with the long arms, and he loves that side of the floor.
And strong. Outside, it goes to Barrett, who wiggles for room, lost it inside. Garnett plucks it. Here's a 4-on-2. And broken up nicely by Sherman Hamilton, who kind of got right in the traffic.
Well, I feel badly for Barrett because he was definitely hacked at the other end, not by one guy, but by 2. But if the referees are just going to think that they're going to mail it in here tonight, that will be a tremendous disservice to the Canadian team.
Here's Payton shuffling again as he did the time before, using a left hand with the miss. Rebound by Garaji. Here comes Nash for 3.
That's what they need. They need Nash to step up. He told you early, in his first 3 games, he was just being passive. He was running the ball club, but not looking for his points. But in the last 2 games especially, he's been primetime Steve Nash that we remember from his days in Santa Clara.
Yes, Kidd with a nice crossover there and a good fake. A turnover with Payton getting it. Off to Houston for 3. Come on!
Allen Houston has been the quiet man. He's done a terrific job defensively on all the small forwards in this tournament and just stays within whatever they're running. If he gets a shot, he's only taking 7 shots a game.
Payton outside to Hamilton for 3. Clutched on 2 by Duncan. Flips it out to Payton. Nice pass. Houston firing and back on top it goes. Duncan with the fake. A hesitation. Garnett back into Kidd. Payton, look at the passing.
Thank you.
What are you saying? But it was up until that time.
We'll just say that was too hot to handle. Okay? That's all.
New player in Todd McCullough from the University of Washington.
Drafted on the 2nd round by the Philadelphia 76ers. Did not get much action yesterday in the big win over Puerto Rico, but he's been solid for them.
Barrett missing from outside. Another rebound clutched onto. The fourth by Kevin Garnett. Here comes Kidd the other way, facing Nash. Into Duncan. Draws the crowd. Nash again the other way with the U.S. on top, 21-9. Mavis with his first shot. Andrew Mavis. Here comes Peyton. No look to Houston. Back to Gary for three, and he has lived on the three in this tournament. Rebounded by Nash. He'll put it up on the fly and knock in a triple.
See, it's nice to see him back where when he first came into this league with Phoenix as the third guard, he was outstanding because he could come up just like that, shoot it in your face. But that injury that he had this year with the lower back really took away his creativity and his range.
Garnett knew it was short. Volleyballs it. McCullough comes up with it for the Canadian national team.
Now, this team can rebound. That's why they got to the qualify for the Olympics, because of McCullough and Garashi. These guys and Newton, they can board.
Here's the aforementioned Greg Newton out of Duke. Rebounded by Garnett again. He's got 5, and Kidd the other way. Tom Gugliotta sets the check in. Houston had it knocked out of his grasp and out of bounds. And a timeout taken. This is the gold medal game, the championship game of the qualifying Tournament of the Americas.
While we could give you a lot of reasons to buy performance friction carbon metallic disc brake pads from AutoZone, perhaps the most compelling is this. They simply stop shorter than any brand we've ever tested. Performance friction carbon metallic. Ask for them at AutoZone.
What we're attempting has never been done.
She's sleeping like a baby.
You've seen sharks before.
These 3 are the test sharks.
Wow. But on July 28th,
As a side effect, the sharks got smarter.
you'll meet a whole new breed.
It can do that? Bust through a steel door?
She screwed with the sharks, and now the sharks are screwing with us.
Deep Blue Sea, rated R. Starts Wednesday, July 28th.
To be the best takes strength, speed, endurance. Now the best way to cure athlete's foot has it all. New Lamisil AT. Strength. Full prescription strength to stop the itching and burning. Speed. These take 4 weeks of treatment to kill the fungus. Only Lamisil AT cures athlete's foot with just 1 week's use. Endurance. A study showed most users were still athlete's foot free 3 whole months later. Get it all in new Lamisil AT. The best way to cure athlete's foot.
Now, Jay Triano is the coach of the Canadian team. This is his first shot as the head coach of the national squad. To qualify them for the Olympics, it's just an outstanding accomplishment for him. You can see he's a 3-time Olympian as a player. He played for the Canadian team for 11 years. He was the team captain. He's the radio man for the Vancouver Grizzlies. Jack Donahue was here earlier in the week. Coach Kareem Abdul-Jabbar at Powell Memorial, and then Coach Holy Cross, and then was the Canadian national coach. And he said, he said Jay was just a walkout. He didn't think he'd make the ball club the first time that he did. And then a couple guys got hurt. Next thing you know, he's in the starting lineup. We never got him out for 11 years. He was the captain of the team, and he is one of Jack Donahue's favorite all-time players. It's nice to see this kind of success.
Terrific story. McCullough hits right there. And the fact that now he has taken this team to the Olympics next year is a tremendous accomplishment. Duncan, who hit the last shot for the U.S., working on McCullough with a little spin and an easy glance off the glass.
Now, McCullough is 7 foot 275. Now, he is a horse. Once he gets down inside, you know, if he's up to it, he can board real well. And see, now, no hop. He doesn't have the hop, but he takes up a lot of space.
Out of bounds off the Canadian National Center. McCullough.
When you're looking for backup centers in the NBA, you always got to think that. You don't say, hey, well, he's not as good as Duncan. Well, of course he's not as good as Duncan. He's a second-round pick. What they're looking for in Philadelphia is a guy to take up space, just board, play defense, and take care of the middle of the lane. You got plenty of fouls to give. Now, in this tournament, he's done a nice job.
Great pass to Gugliotta. He takes it in with that broken nose and that protective mask. Persevering is Tom Gugliotta.
Well, it's nice to see Googs rebound back after this broken nose. He has played the least of the 9 NBA players. Only 12 minutes a game because of the broken nose and then the 6 stitches across the top.
Here's Newton. Rebound McCullough. Goaltend on Steve Smith, who's in for the first time, but that's what McCullough will do. He'll give you some good minutes backing up like you mentioned before.
Yeah, I just like what he's done with this club because they could not have achieved getting into that big game yesterday without his contributions. He's been a very solid player for them.
Payton wheels inside, flips it to Smith, back to Payton for the 3. Right between the eyes for Gary Payton.
Gary Payton in threes, 10 for 20. Not bad, 50%. Not bad.
And his love taken. McCullough over Duncan, rebounded by Gugliotta. Lead pass to Smith. Looking for Duncan on the trail.
A little bit too much English on that cue stick there with that ball, that's all. The idea was great. Gugliotta has done a terrific job when he has gotten the minutes. His rebounding, very consistent, and you know he feels so badly, but the swelling is down and underneath both eyes, so at least he can see, but he's hampered a little bit by that mask.
Keith Vassell the miss. Here comes Payton right by Jordy McTavish for 2. And McTavish the other way. First year with the national team. Clocks a 3. Rebounded inside by Mavis. And outside to Vassell. And McCullough is there to clean it up and put it in.
Oh, he's a horse.
Yeah.
He's a big body. Now, if you're looking at all of these threes and saying, is this how Canada plays? The last time they played the United States, they attempted 31 threes.
Timmy Hardaway is in. Out there with Smith, Payton, Duncan, and Gugliotta. McCullough outside to Vassell. Guarded by Payton on top. It goes to Mavis. Rebounded by Gugliotta, who wanted, I know, to come out and finish well tonight. Tim Hardaway, he has been absolutely terrific the last 2 games.
Well, the last 2 games, he's averaging 17. Not only is the three-point shot there, but his total game in the open floor, setting up the rest of the players.
Duncan to Smith. What a drop-in. Beautiful
The old
pass.
give and go. Yep. I think it came in when they put up that first beach basket. Pass and cut to the basket. It's amazing. You know, the game is simple if you know how to play, but you have to play with unselfish guys who will get it to you.
In Canada, that's where it first began. Duncan, the knockaway. Hardaway has it. Tried to feed Payton. Smith comes up with it off the Gugliotta. More great United States passing.
Well, when you watch Steve Smith play a lot about basketball, the one thing